Alright, so what's up everybody? Your boy Retro back, and we got Prince, the usual co-host. Welcome back to episode 5 of Sonic Blast from the Past. Now let's go ahead and get this right off the way. Anyone who wants to be a guest on any of the episodes, just go ahead and mention me on Twitter at xretroactives, or you can mention Prince at prettyboyprince. So if you want to be a guest to recap that again, just mention us on Twitter, and we will definitely get you on any of the episodes in the future. Now, for those who missed part 4, episode 4, you can click the annotation on the video. It takes you back to part 4, episode 1. Start from there, watch all the episodes just in case you didn't miss it, and just in case you missed it, and you can catch up on episode 4. Now, we want to go ahead and get right into it on segment 1, and I want to go ahead and ask you guys, the audience, what if Sega still had its own console today? That's what we're going to be talking about. Think about that for a little bit. What if Sega still had its own console? Now, I personally think that if Sega still had its own console, we might see some variety of games, some unique games. Because when Sega was out, that's what we got. A lot of unique games, a lot of fighting games, a lot of unique, I wouldn't say RPGs, but it was like a lot of adventure games that you got with Sega. Now, I'll ask you, Prince, what do you think? What if Sega still had its own console still?
I think Sonic would have been, be accomplishing more than it does now. Because, like you said, when Sega had its own console, Sonic had much better, decent games. I think the fact of that is because, when they had their own console, they could have focused more on what to do, because they knew the abilities of their console, so they could have focused more on how to produce better Sonic games.
Right. So what aspect of the Sega Genesis, the Sega Dreamcast did you like?
On the Sega Genesis, during Sonic games on there, like I said, I like the 2D games. It was more of a Sonic style than how you look at Sonic 4 now. When on the PS3 and Xbox 360, as you see, is totally a big difference. And even with the modern day Sonic games from Sega Dreamcast, you see Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, and look at Sonic the Hedgehog 06, which we talked about last time. And you got Sonic in the Secret Ring, Sonic in the Black Knight. You can see the difference between them having their own system console, other than working with other PS3 and Xbox 360.
Right. So here's a question I've been wondering. I'm going to throw it back on you guys, the audience. Is I want to know if, hypothetically, if Sega still did have its own console, and you compare it to the 360, the PS3, and even the Nintendo Wii, would it be able to hold its own in terms of sales, in terms of hardware, software, or would it fall straight down and just fail? How would that actually, what would actually happen if it still has console? Now, personally, to me, the PS3 has a lot of power in it. It can hold a lot of space. The 360 more focuses on the software aspect, where the PS3 focuses more on the hardware. Now, if Sega still has its own console, it would depend on the games, because I thought Sega was all about the games anyway. We definitely know that they wouldn't have cartridges. They definitely wouldn't have, well, I don't know, maybe they would be creative and maybe not even use CDs. I don't know. But what do you think, Prince?
I think they would hold up. It's the fact, well, just because of PlayStation 2 came out and knocked them out the gaming industry, but I think they would have been financially right, because we all know about how right now they're not financially right to make their own console and have their own hardware. But I think if it wasn't for the PS2, they still would have been successful, because they had great games on the Sega Dreamcast, even on Sega Genesis. They make good games, and I think they would have hold up, especially if they had made their own handheld consoles as well, not consoles, handheld games as well.